Hey guys, I wanted to give a quick marriage and relationship encouragement in this week's blog post. And if you're not married, stay tuned because as I always say, there are generally two things in life that you will wish you knew more about before you did them, and they're marriage and having kids. Both of those are things that you tend to get in, and as wonderful as they are, you very quickly realize that you don't really know what you're doing and you need to have some sort of plan, some sort of vision for your kids and some sort of vision for your relationship and marriage. So even if you're not married, stay tuned because this is going to help you get a vision for having a healthy marriage. I read a very interesting study recently. It was published around 2014, just a couple of years ago, and it was from the Gottman Institute, which has spent around 30 years studying dynamics in marriage and relationships. And they discovered, they said, what the key was to a successful marriage. In fact, by looking for certain behaviors, they were able to predict the length of a marriage, how long it would last, with a 94% accuracy, which is absolutely incredible when you think about it. Do you want to know what the two biggest determining factors were and whether or not a marriage made it? It's very, very interesting. The two factors are kindness and generosity. Kindness and generosity, two very, very interesting things. And the reason I found this so interesting is because when it comes to the Bible teaching how life works, how life is designed to work, it teaches a lot of principles. And these principles are true whether you believe in God or not, because they're how we're wired to work as people. And in Philippians 2:3, it says, "Don't be selfish, be humble, considering others better than yourself." And when you read the Bible, not even the verses on marriage, but just the writings and scriptures about how we should treat each other as people, this sort of theme comes up over and over again, that we should consider others better than ourselves. And in this marriage study, they gave an example. They said seemingly unimportant interactions between a couple can tell you a lot about the relationship. And the example they gave was a husband who likes bird watching, and he might say to his wife, "Look at this incredible bird that I've just seen through my binoculars looking out the window." And that might seem like an unimportant event, but the wife has a decision at that moment to turn inward or outward. If she chooses to be selfish and inward, she will base her response on the fact that she doesn't really care about birds, and she'll go, "Oh, whatever." But if she cares about her husband, she will turn outward and say, "Oh, what did you find?" or express some sort of interest. It's got nothing to do with whether or not she's interested in birds. It has everything to do with whether or not she cares about her husband. And obviously that works the same way with the way husbands treat wives. And so I wanted to encourage you with a truth that I think you've experienced if you've been married for any length of time. And that is the incredible importance of striving to be as nice and as kind to your spouse as you would be to just an ordinary person. You know, it's so easy to take the ones closest to us for granted. And when you're in a serious, committed relationship, it's very, very easy to take that other person for granted and not even extend them the basic kindnesses that you would extend even a stranger. And so I want to encourage you again. Philippians 2:3 says, "Don't be selfish, be humble, considering others better than yourself." And that applies especially to our spouse. So if you're married, I want to encourage you to show kindness and generosity to your spouse. There are little things that happen every day that have nothing to do with what they seem to have to do with. Just like it had nothing to do with bird watching in that example, it had everything to do with kindness and generosity from one spouse to the other. Seek to serve your spouse. Don't worry about whether they're reciprocating or not. If everybody waits for the other person to go first, nothing's ever going to get done and things are just going to stay in an unhealthy place. But you go first and you show kindness, you show generosity to your spouse, and you'll find that the couples in life that you admire most, who have the best relationships, that's what they do. They show kindness and generosity to one another. If you're not married, make that a goal for when you are. God bless you guys, and we'll talk soon.